Well, the summit is on its third day, and it's too late to turn back, so we have to keep pressing on. I want to thank and welcome everyone to the third day, Saturday, of the 11th Annual World Stem Cell Summit and RegMed Capital Conference. My name, as you know, is Bernie Siegel. I'm the Executive Director of the Genetics Policy Institute and Regenerative Medicine Foundation, which is the producer of the event. This morning, we really have a super Saturday for you, and all of those that are in the room that are planning to take off around lunchtime, I want you to change your flights and stay to the end, because as someone who's gone to many meetings and networked, I always find those that stay to the very, very, very end sometimes get the best content, the best contacts, and best information. So this is a very important preliminary session to our meeting, because we're going to be recognizing those poster presenters that have produced absolutely outstanding posters this year. And I'm so grateful to our poster judges, Julie Allickson, Mary Pat Moyer, Takashi Asada, Professor, thank you, Carl-Hendrik Grimeno, and others that facilitated looking at these posters and understanding and interacting with the presenters. So this year we are going to recognize the top three posters, and they will be presented by Dr. Allickson with a new publication, Stem Cells in Regenerative Medicine, Science, Regulation, and Business Strategies, published by Wiley-Blackwell, edited by, among others, Alain Vertes, who's in the room today. I was very honored to co-author a chapter with our colleague, Alan Giacomo of Sidley Austin, who chairs our poster session every year, but unfortunately had a sad loss in his family and could not join us, and sends his warmest regards. So we wrote a chapter related to the impact of the patient advocacy movement on moving regenerative medicine forward. And I'm a non-academic. My background is law, as you know, and I've written many legal briefs, but this was the toughest thing I've ever done, is try to write a book chapter. And but I'm very proud to be part of this book, and I thank Alain for allowing that to happen. Just before we start, I want to let you know a little bit about this day. So at 9 o'clock, we are very pleased to welcome Dr. Jan Nolta of UC Davis, who will provide some keynote remarks to start our day, and move on to another keynote address from one of our wonderful speakers from Japan to help give us further insight in the global community. Also, the RegMed Capital Conference is going to be staging at 9 a special session, Dare to be Great, how lab scientists can successfully commercialize their research. And that's going to be a roundtable discussion with Connie Harrell of the Kretsu Forum, Dr. Chris Mason of the University College of London, and Cy Griffey of StemBiosis. And that's going to be a terrific session. Also, just a couple of program notes. At our 10 to 11 RegMed session, The Business of Selling Cells and Regenerative Medicine Products, we've added Sutosh Yagnik of Aura Capital to that panel, and Bob Hutchins, the CEO of StemBiosis. Also, Kaz Hirao, who is the president and CEO of Cellular Dynamics International, who joined that panel. That's going to be a fascinating panel. And this meeting, as you know, is an embarrassment of riches and content. Also, for clarification, the companies presenting on the RegMed Capital Conference at 11:30 to 12:30 are Fujifilm, Longeveron, BioLeonhardt, Myostem, and Celerant, because the speakers don't necessarily have the company affiliation as posted on your agenda. So they're very fine companies. If you want to learn about them as an investor or just learn about these technologies, that's a good place. We're also very honored to have a track keynote. So from 11:30 to 12:30, we're going to have a hard time deciding what to attend, but we are very honored to have Dr. Michael West, who has been the founder of leading cell therapy companies, Geron Advanced Cell Technology, and of course Biotime, and author of Immortal Cell, a true visionary in the field, who will be speaking on a track keynote in the Regency Ballroom. It's a combined discovery and hot topics subject. We have some great panels, lunch panels, visionary lunch panels, and I hope you'll stay in the room, stay in the building, and attend one of these sessions. So, and finally, we close with a town hall meeting, which everyone is welcome to, and then you can all watch me collapse in exhaustion. I want to introduce our friend Dr. Julie Allickson of Wake Forest Institute of Regenerative Medicine, who played a critical role in organizing this conference and putting together the FDA panel with Dr. Califf and Dr. Witten, and is a good friend and volunteer for Regenerative Medicine Foundation. Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for everybody for attending this morning early. So we had a great poster session this year. We had a record number of abstracts, 103, so it was very exciting and very challenging, I think, for all the judges to look through all the submissions, but they were judged on a lot of different criteria, looking at innovation and how it applies in regards to translation and medicine and science, and did it communicate clearly. So there were a lot of different aspects that we looked at the posters. And so I'll just ask them to put up the slides, please. And we have 2 honorable mentions to start with. Laurel sent them. Sorry, otherwise I'd have to get my phone. Laurel said she had them. Okay. Yeah, so it's really a hard challenge when you see so many great posters, and there was a lot of work on unmet clinical needs and translation, and so it was pretty challenging to determine who was the best one. So there were a lot of. It's a shame that we couldn't have more winners, but. I'm going to grab my phone in the meantime, and maybe we can get it started. Okay. All right. Can you move to the next slide for me? Thank you. Okay, so our first honorable mention goes to biofabrication, 3D skeletal muscle tissue for structural and functional recovery. Jae-hoon Kim, who's a postdoc at Wake Forest. This was so as you know, some of the challenges with tissue engineering is really to produce and mimic the tissue architecture and innervate the tissues, and so this abstract really looked at all of those pieces, and they were able to look at it in an in vivo model. So let's give a big round of applause for this abstract. If the authors are here, can you please stand up? Okay. Okay, next slide, please. So our second honorable mention is human olfactory bulb neural stem cell-based therapy for CNS, traumatic and neurodegenerative diseases. Hani Mora is professor and project manager of biomedical research, Center Qatar University. And this is really, as we look at neurodegenerative diseases, there's a lot of challenges, and really looking at using a unique cell type to be able to do that, and looked at several in vitro studies. So it was a really nice poster presentation. So if the authors are here, if you could please stand up. Okay. Thank you. Okay, all right, so we're on to the poster winners. There's 3 today, And the first one is conditioning of injury site using nanoparticles delivered neuroprotectants for regenerative therapy for stroke. And we all know with stroke, there's really only one FDA-approved treatment currently, TPA, which is very challenging. And this method of being able to get through the blood-brain barrier and treat using nanoparticles was really unique and innovative. So we'd like to welcome Anil Kumar, postdoc research, and co-author Shanta Dar to the stage, if they're here. Are they here? They didn't get up for coffee, but let's give them a round of applause, and maybe they'll come later. Okay, all right, next one. Okay, so the next winner is a 3D bioprinted biomask for facial skin reconstruction. And the author is Young-Hoon Si, which is a postdoc from Wake Forest, research fellow from Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, along with all of the other colleagues. And this is really a unique way of 3D printing, looking at being able to, for facial injuries. A lot of the Wounded Warrior, this research comes out of Wounded Warrior, and we know that when there's traumatic injuries to the face, it's really quite devastating. And so we think that this, is definitely looking at an unmet clinical need. So we'd like to congratulate the authors, and if they could come up to the stage. Is anybody here? No? Okay. They'll have to get their book later on, or I'm going to steal it. Okay. And then the third winner is rescuing the regenerative capacity of human bone marrow-derived mesenchymal stem cells from the elderly. And this was, the author is Travis Jackson. This was really a unique abstract as they were looking at, so we all know with autologous therapy there's always concerns using from older people that it's challenged, and we see that those cell types sometimes proliferate much differently. And so it was interesting that they were able to select a younger population and then expand and produce that cells to potentially be able to be used. So it was innovative and creative, and so we'd like to welcome Travis Jackson up to the stage and the co-authors if they're here. No winners? Okay, I'm taking the books. All right. All right. Okay, so thank you so much, and then I'll bring Bernie back up. Do I get the books?
People always have to have confidence that they're going to win and be here. This is great. Thank you all for participating in the poster session. Thanks to all of our judges. So I'm going to call up to the podium for another round of special recognition Anne Murphy, who is, of course, the publisher of Stem Cells Translational Medicine, and we honored with our Education Award at the Stem Cell Action dinner. So Anne, please come up. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause.
Well, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Jan Nolta, who needs no introduction at all because she is so well known and so well admired. Jan directs the stem cell program at UC Davis. She's also responsible for that wonderful Institute of Regenerative Cures and for the GMP facility, and she has so many ongoing trials, and it's a pleasure for us to honor and recognize her as our editor-in-chief of Stem Cells.
Thank you so much, Anne, and it's really wonderful, amazing to work with you, and we have our wonderful team here who helps us publish these amazing journals. So I have the distinct honor of introducing our Stem Cells and Stem Cells Translational Medicine Young Investigator Award winners. So the Stem Cells Young Investigator Award honors a young scientist who is principal author of a significant research paper published in Stem Cells, The stem cells editors support the efforts of these emerging researchers and encourage the development of these young investigators who are making significant impacts in this field, thus fostering the future of their clinical applications. This year's Young Investigator Award winner is Dr. Kamil Krantz, first author on the exciting manuscript, Acute Loss of Cytid2 Impairs Nanog Expression and Decreases Self-Renewal of Mouse Embryonic Stem Cells, which was published in the March 2015 issue of Stem Cells. The manuscript reports that Cytid2 is a key regulator of murine embryonic stem cell survival and self-renewal. Dr. Krantz heads the Hematopoietic Stem Cell Laboratory at the MRC Center for Regenerative Medicine at the University of Edinburgh. His team had already published a review on the role of Cytid2 in normal and leukemic hematopoietic stem cells in 2014, also in our journal, Stem Cells. So in 2015, working with a team, including senior investigator Professor Jose Bragança from the Universidade de Algarve in Faro, Portugal, Dr. Krantz has elegantly demonstrated that this transcriptional regulator is also important in embryonic stem cell biology, very important. Cumulatively, Dr. Krantz's work has shown that Cytid2 is a master regulator of adult and embryonic stem cell fates, and we congratulate you, Dr. Krantz. Please come to the stage for your award.
Thank you.
And now for our Young Investigator Award for Stem Cells Translational Medicine. So this award fosters advancements in the field of stem cells and regenerative medicine and honors a young researcher who's principal author of an article published in Stem Cells Translational Medicine. And the journal's editorial board jury selects an applicant whose article is judged as having the most impact, pushing the boundaries of novel and insightful research. The third annual Stem Cells Translational Medicine Young Investigator Award is presented to Dustin R. Wakeman, PhD, for his study demonstrating an important step in evaluating cell types and methods that will be most effective for stem cell therapies in Parkinson's disease. Dr. Wakeman is first author on human neural stem cells survive long-term in the midbrain of dopamine-depleted monkeys after GDNF overexpression and project neurites toward an appropriate target. Very important. At Rush University Medical Center, he has assembled a team of experts who have dedicated their careers to cellular transplantation in Parkinson's disease. Neuronal tissue engineering is a complex feat, and this excellent study suggests that transplantation of stem cells, specifically instructed ex vivo to yield dopamine neurons, could lead to reconstruction of some portion of the nigrostriatal pathway and provide benefit to the Parkinsonian condition. So we congratulate you, Dr. Wakeman. Please come. Big words for me. All right. Thank you. A round of applause for our young investigator. And then Bernie has a few words. I can stay up here, yes.
Our early morning choreography leaves a little something to be desired on day 3, I think. We're doing the best. Thank you to all of your award winners and honorees, and the young scientists especially that participated in this. It's a wonderful thing. There are now going to be 2 plenary talks for the World Stem Cell Summit in this room. Immediately following Dr. Nolta's talk, we're proud to present, and I'll introduce Dr. Kunihiko Suzuki, representing the Great Industry Coalition in Japan, the Forum for Innovative Regenerative Medicine. So we're certainly looking forward to Dr. Suzuki's presentation. Our friend Jan Nolta needs no introduction, really, because Jan is a stalwart in the field, and not only is she a brilliant scientist and advocate in the Huntington's disease community at UC Davis, where she leads their program in regenerative medicine and stem cells, but she is really a very inspiring human being, inspiring young scientists, inspiring advocates. So we were discussing about her role in the summit, and I love the title that she came up with, Team Training, Inspiring Scientists and Advocates into Action, because at its core, this meeting is founded by patient advocates. It has science, of course, it has industry and regulation and innovation and tools and devices and all of these things that you see at this meeting. But what is unusual about the meeting is it really is driven by the general population that supports these innovative technologies. So Jan realizes that and has agreed to share some of her wisdom with us today in her keynote address. So Jan, I welcome you to the program.